He's back. Errol Spence Jr. trending #1 on Twitter after a masterful masterclass performance over the very game and heavy-handed Danny Swift Garcia. We're going to talk about that. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. We working. Yo, what up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. The Cash App, $ Boxing Ego. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. ESPN Plus, before I get started, go to the link in the description. Sign up for ESPN Plus. They have a ton of original content, docuseries, documentaries, archive footage, and more for your viewing needs. ESPN Plus is $5.99 a month by clicking that link. Or if you want more content, get ESPN Plus, the bundle. ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus, all three apps for one low price of $12.99 by clicking my link. Great performance. You see Errol Spence strapped up. They gave him some additional WBC belt, but he's a unified 2-belt champion. He looked great. Derek James, in my opinion, is trainer of the year. He has 2 unified champions, Errol Spence and also Jermell Charlo. Jermell recently had a great unification process and performance over Jason Rosario. And last night, you guys watched his other fighter keep his belts, his unified belts, against a very amazing and talented Danny Garcia. It wasn't Danny's night. I thought the right person won, unanimous decision. And the boy Errol Spence Jr. is a total star, and he looks like the total package. A lot of people had a lot of questions, a lot of doubts. He said, I'm going to show y'all. You know, I got through the accident situation. I'm the same guy, and I don't want no tune-up. Put me in the deep end of the pool. I'm a shark. Put me with the rest of the top competition. And I need a guy like Danny Garcia, who's tough, who's game, who's been there, who gets respect in the boxing world, so I can show you what I'm really made of. Now, as you guys see, Errol Spence was #1. Boxing was trending. #Spence Garcia. I think Fox, they did a hell of a job with the telecast. They really did it cinematic with the fighter story and bios. I really like what they're doing with the pay-per-views. It was well worth my $75. And what can I say? Errol Spence, he's the man. I'm not going to say pitched a shutout, because there was, I guess, late in the fight where he took some rounds off. Still was doing some quality work, maybe a little bit of ring rust. He's coming from this car accident, things like that. But all in all, he looked really sharp to me, really good. Hell of a bounce back performance. I got some photos I want y'all to take a look at. He keeps selling out. This was 16,100 people in attendance, which is a sellout based on the practices and the Rona precautions. They couldn't clearly have a full 80,000 or whatnot. So great numbers even during the pandemic. So very masterful performance by Errol Spence Jr. Highly impressed. All he's been through. Boxing is full of underdog stories. And even though he was the favorite on the betting odds, he was still an underdog. There's some people who thought he would be washed from the accident. He wouldn't be the same. They felt there was no way that Errol Spence could show the world that he was the same fighter. But just like you see Kobe Bryant on the screen, Errol Spence, he told you he has that extra drive and that X factor that made people like the Black Mamba, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and Tom Brady, great athletes and great performers. You can never count them out. Errol is extremely blessed and lucky. I mean, he went from nearly losing his life and no longer being in his family's life to fighting at home in front of a pandemic. It's just a weird year. Pandemic crowd. He made weight good. He got to show out. He fought a respected guy. Big gamble, but it had a big payoff for him because I thought he looked very sharp. I gave Danny Garcia like 2 rounds, 3 rounds. He was game, but it just wasn't enough. Take a look at some of these pictures. See, there's a couple points where Danny landed some solid shots. Errol's jab really set up a lot for him, and I seen him get on his toes and box. He just showed a little bit of everything that he can do. He looked good out there, yo. He looked like he was having fun. Both guys seemed they came out extremely calm and confident, but it was Errol Spence that kind of took away Danny Garcia's confidence towards the end of the fight, with that jab, disrupting things, making it difficult, ripping to his body. I don't think Danny Garcia liked that body work either. I think Danny Garcia, being a heavy-handed fighter with good timing, he wasn't used to somebody really digging in those body shots and letting off 2s and 3s and 4s. And Errol, he made it look like it was all natural. Danny did have some good body shots, but in the end, one man had to win, one had to lose, and that was Errol Spence, the unified man down. Man down. Great performance. I was very impressed. I hope you guys enjoyed the fight. Errol Spence is the man. I know Terence Crawford says he thinks he deserves the lion's share of money, but after those types of performances from Errol Spence, continuing to sell out crowds, we have to wait to see what the pay-per-view numbers are. There's no way Terence Crawford could be the A-side. I said that before the fight, but I think it's becoming more and more apparent. In addition to that, Crawford, they asked him, you guys will see it, they asked Errol Spence. I hate when boxing media and people do that. Errol Spence, this is his night. Beat Danny Garcia. That's who was in front of him. He just wants to relax. It's very apparent that the fighter's not going to have answers to who they're fighting next 5 minutes after they just got out the ring with a tough opponent and go 12 hard rounds. Even though Errol Spence made it look relatively easy, it wasn't. He had a long camp. He had a pre-camp. He was in shape. He probably had to spend some time away from his family. He had to get his mind right after the accident. So I hate when they do that. I think Crawford is a tremendous talent as well. If they fight, they fight. Crawford, Errol answered it right. Crawford said, I don't need Errol. But then Crawford went to Errol's fight, him and his family and whatnot. He said, I don't need Errol. But Crawford, on Errol Spence fight week, Danny Garcia fight week, he's talking about Errol. So, I don't really know what that's about, but let me know what you guys think. We'll talk about this more and more. Errol Spence, for now, he looked good. He looked great, very sharp. He's back. Jab was on point. I like this because Errol showed a little bit of everything he can do. It was kind of like a mesh or a mashup from the Mikey Garcia performance that we seen Errol, and also the Sean Porter Errol that we seen, the one that fought Sean Porter. It was just like a collision of both of those Errols all in one. Danny Garcia, hold your head up high. Great performance. Even in defeat. I like what Danny was saying post-fight. He was just humble. He said the better man won. His face was looking pretty tattered up. He said the better man won, and I could respect it. Angel Garcia, he seemed a little bit more emotional that his son lost, and he said he was disappointed. But, hey, you win some and you lose some. Errol Spence, he's back. Smash the like button. Let me know how I did in this particular video. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. I think Errol, he got hit right here. You see, he answered everybody's questions. Heavy-handed person, focused person, Danny Garcia. He was doing some good stuff in there. It just he wasn't doing enough of the good stuff to outshine what Errol was doing. You know what I mean? He was getting outlanded, out-hustled, and Errol was, you know, stealing the play from him, and his eyes started to get bashed up. So it is what it is. Two people fighting, one wins, one loses. I think the jab was the difference, because when Danny fought guys like Amir Khan, they didn't have no crazy jab. They were like kind of rush in, so Danny's able to time them. But Errol was changing looks, getting on his toes, boxing. Then there's a round he took off. Then he kind of took off another round. Then he came aggressive. He's just giving you different looks, changing levels, and then also disrupting you with the jab. It was just a boxing clinic. You know, the right man won, unanimous decision, and that's why he gets to reap the benefits. And he was trending on Twitter. Great performance, rest up, champ. Both of them, two warriors, great card. $75 well spent. Really appreciate this. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego. Signing off.
Okay, we're going to go with the Zoom questions first and then in the room. Andrew, take it away.
All right. Thanks, Kelly. We'll start with Ben Baby. Ben Baby, you can unmute yourself and ask away.
Errol, Danny said that he thought the jab controlled the fight tonight. What made that so effective, and did you expect that to be as successful as it was throughout the evening?
It was just, you know, just common sense, basically. I mean, I was the taller person. He had the shorter arms, and you know, I always had a great jab. So, so that's what we was working on. Working on using the jab, setting everything up with the jab, and basically just outpointing him. You know, that's, I think, you know, I did well using my jab. I think Lennox Lewis would be really proud of me. Using my jab like the way I did.
Right. You know, I think a lot of folks were wondering how you were going to take a punch after the accident. Is there one tonight that maybe you were proud of how well you were able to respond?
No, because I had a 10, 12 week training camp where I was sparring. So, I mean, I was taking the punches in sparring, so I wasn't surprised. I was taking the punch in the fight because it was something that I've been taking, so I wasn't surprised at all, and I always had a great chin.
Next question from Jeremy Harridges. Jeremy, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hi, Errol. Congratulations on your victory. How would you appraise your performance? How would you rate yourself?
I give myself a B. I think I had a little bit of ring rust in there, but I think I was just in such great shape and had a great training camp and took everything serious where I could overwhelm. I can just not be discouraged by me having ring rust and things like that. So I feel like just working my jab and using my angles and boxing was the best move, and that's what I basically did.
Your performance in this fight, and as far as what you see moving forward for the future, obviously everyone's talking about Terence Crawford. Is that a legitimate chance of happening, or do you guys feel like you're miles and miles apart?
I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about seeing my kids tomorrow and chilling on my ranch and finally riding my horses after 10, 12 weeks and just chilling out and eating some good food. So we'll see what holds in the future. But right now, just to enjoy myself. I had a long, year and a half, to come back and, work hard, train hard, and just was 120% focused. And I'm going to wind down for like a week or two till I get back on the ball.
Here to media on the Zoom. Please raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question. We'll take our next question from Keenan Atchison. Keenan, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Keenan?
Yes, please ask your question, Keenan.
Keenan?
All right, we'll move on to Mark Wicker. Mark, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Errol, what was the sensation like walking in tonight? You seemed like you had a smile on your face. I'm sure it was probably had to be a little bit emotional after such a long time and everything that happened. How excited were you when you made that walk into the ring?
Well, I was super excited. I mean, this is my home. This was a lifelong dream of mine, just, be a household name in Dallas, and now I'm a household name. And, I was just thankful to have, fans here and family here and, everybody support me. And I was smiling because it was a long, long road to come back. And it was a lot of, sacrifice and, just, buckling down and staying focused and, trials and tribulations to get to this point, to tonight. And I got to that point and, it paid off. So, like they say, everything happened for a reason. And I feel like, I'm here for a reason. And, I basically proved that, I'm back and I'm here to stay. And I'm the unified champion of the world.
That first round feel, I mean, you were sharp. It didn't look like it looked like you had kind of taken up where you left off. And did that feel any different than any other first round you usually fight?
No. No, it was just, like I said, I've been training. I've been in the gym for probably March. I've been in the gym since March, late March. And, we just been working and training hard and just, being 100% focused. So I was just, this training camp, I was just in the gym 24/7. I dedicated, basically everything just to come back and get back. And I knew I had to be just focused and go back to what I used to do and being in the gym all the time and being actually a gym rat and not just going to training camp when I got a fight coming up and actually just being there and being ready, when I got that call. So, this training camp was a little bit different. It was like back in the day where I was already, I didn't have to lose 30, 40 pounds. I was actually in training camp, training for strategy and things like that instead of, trying to lose weight and going to the gym knowing I got to lose, this amount of weight. I was actually, already on weight and just, focus on strategy.
All right, thanks, Mark. We'll take our next question from David Melandra. David, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hey, Errol, congratulations on your victory. At any point in the fight tonight, did any of Danny's punches hurt you at all? Feel like you're in jeopardy of potentially losing this fight?
No, I didn't. I felt some of his punches, but they wasn't hard enough to hurt me or, to wobble me or discourage me, or it wasn't really nothing like, man, like this dude can really punch. He was more strong than anything. So, but I give him all this kudos, great fighter, iron chin, came to fight, and, I think, he basically, tried to take my title, and, I defended it well at home. So much respect to him for just giving me his opportunity and accepting the fight and coming to Dallas and fighting me.
All right, thanks, Errol. We'll kick it back to questions inside AT&T Stadium.
Errol, congratulations. I know it was a long, long road to get back to this point. What was going on through your mind when you were walking through the little area to go to the ring?
Basically, it was just like what my shirt says. It says I'm back, and it was just more of a grateful moment for myself. Like, man, all this hard work, from this year and a half, led me to this point. So, basically, it was just, man, like, you worked hard to get to this point. You deserve to be here. Now it's time to put on a show. Let's go. So I wasn't nervous at all after being a year and a half off. I wasn't nervous at all coming and walking here. It was more of, man, like, this is my home. This is where I belong. Let's go. Definitely. I mean, I feel like, that's why they say a lot of boxers stay too long, because this is like a drug does. This is like a high does. So, when people are cheering for you and, the crowd, basically praising you, that's like a high. And that's why a lot of boxers, come back. Like Sugar Ray Leonard, he came back, he didn't need the money. He came back to fight because he was chasing something. He was chasing that high that, basically, people still cheering his name and being a champion and saying, like even the Hector Camacho documentary was like, man, it's nothing like when people say and new, so, I just, getting that again and just, hearing people and still and, they putting the belts around me and things like that, that meant a lot. And it's just, I'm glad my hard work and basically my dedication and my path to get back, ended with, me defending my titles and, putting the belts around my waist again and doing it in my hometown in front of all my fans.
Errol, did you feel that you hurt him at some point in the fight, particularly to the body?
Yeah, I think I hurt him a little bit, but Danny Garcia is very tough, very gritty, iron chin, iron body, and he's not gonna, basically, cower down to anybody. So I think I hurt him a little bit, but he's gonna fight regardless.
It was to the body you felt you hurt him more? Or?
Yeah, I think I hurt him a couple times to the body, and I hit him in the chin and hurt him a little bit too. But he just, he's a real fighter, man. So he's not gonna go down easy.
Did you feel toward the end of the fight he was just trying to make it the 12 rounds and he wasn't going to open up against you?
I think he got discouraged a little bit. In the fight, and he kind of, stopped his assault because he wasn't really landing that many punches. I was blocking him, picking him off, slipping him. So I think he was getting kind of frustrated.
Errol, great performance. I know you already talked about getting back to the ranch, very understandable. But what did you think of Terence showing up ringside? Do you think that helps build some buzz to make it a big fight?
No. I mean, he got to live up to his words. If he say he's not worried about me, then I don't know why he doing what he was doing here. I probably wouldn't go to none of his fights, so I'm not worried about Terence Crawford. Like I said, I'm going to enjoy my time with my kids and chill out and just reflect on this year and a half that, I came back and, we're going to move on in the summertime and see who I fight. So we'll see. I got to talk to my manager, Al Heyman, and we'll go from there.
Derek, you're the only coach in boxing that has 2 unified champions. Are you trainer of the year this year? It's almost over.
Hey, man, they'll find somebody to jump in front of me. They'll try to, but they really can't do it this time, I don't think, because of the circumstances. But, you never know. They'll find somebody.
And Errol, this proves tonight that you're very popular. Over 16,000 fans in a pandemic. They put, I don't know if you noticed during the fight, they put Crawford on a big screen. He got booed.
Well, that's what they were booing. I didn't know what they were booing.
Yeah, that's what they were booing. Okay. So what does it say? Do you have this big fan base here? You and Canelo, 120,000?
Like I said, I'm not worried about anybody right now. I'm gonna enjoy my time with my family, chill out, and maybe buy a couple horses and goats and cows and chickens and things like that. But right now I'm just gonna chill out, man. Enjoy this a little bit of a layoff. It was a hard year and a half for me. Coming back and. I need to rest a little bit and not really think about boxing for like a week and then jump back on the ball. But, I'm not going to get out of shape, not going to get too fat. I'm going to keep working and stay in the gym.
Derek, question over here. Could you go into a little bit about the plan tonight for Danny and how crucial the jab was and ended up being?
Well, I always say the jab is the easiest punch to throw, the fastest punch you can throw, and the hardest punch to block. And you can see it tonight that it gave him a lot of issues. And He used the jab for the distance. He used the jab just to constantly keep him occupied. And he set him up with a lot of times with the jab. So he used it for several reasons. And then it was beautiful, man. It worked.
Derek, in an ideal world, you being Errol's trainer, how quickly would you want to see him back, and what, I guess, what more do you want to see out of him? He said he gave himself a B. Would you give him that rating too, or do you think he performed pretty well here tonight?
Nah, man, I give him an A+ just because he was able to be consistent. You know, and I think that it's very difficult because that's what Danny Garcia's strength is in the complacency of the fighters. The fighters get comfortable. They get complacent, and he catches them with a good shot. So, myself, I would give him an A only because of the fact that his level of consistency. I didn't like when he was kind of dropping his hands a little bit, and I kind of told him, but at the same time, I mean, that's when he's at his strength because people get comfortable. And, you know, I think that I don't necessarily, you know, that's not my thing to say whenever I want him back in the ring. I just want him back in the gym in a couple of weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. But other than that, I mean, that's not my deal, man. I mean, I think that he needs to rest. He needs to get everything's in. He's gonna be sore as heck tomorrow, man. Muscles and sore. He's gonna need to listen. The masseuse says she wanted to see him too, but he's gonna need a massage or hot whatever. But I think that, you know, maybe in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, he'll be back in the gym and just keep it rolling, man.
Hey, one more over here.
Hey, Errol, I think it was toward the end of the 11th round. You looked down at the canvas. I couldn't really see what happened. Did you lose your mouthpiece? Is that what you were looking down at, or what?
Oh, yeah, I lost my mouthpiece.
Okay.
And we have one more question on Zoom from Calvin Watkins with the Dallas Morning News. Calvin, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Please ask your question.
Errol, at what point during this fight did you feel like you were the stronger guy? Did you know that coming in, or as the fight was progressing, did you feel like, oh, I'm the bigger guy, I'm the stronger guy? I could just feel it as the fight was going.
I kind of knew that I was the stronger guy just because, you know, I'm stronger than a lot of people, you know. You know, even though, you know, people say I might be skinny or whatever, I'm just naturally strong. People I spar, you know, light heavyweights, and things like that, and push them around. So, you know, I just felt like I was a strong guy. And especially him, you know, fighting at 140 before and things like that. And I was already bigger than him. I felt like I was bigger than him. I'm taller than him. My arms are longer than his. So, you know, I just felt like, you know, he couldn't do nothing with me if we was fighting on inside and outside. So I just felt that, you know, I held all the advantages. And, you know, before this fight, just watching him fight throughout the years and, you know, watching my fight, I just felt I had a better arsenal than him. I'm done.
So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.